let's construct this isometric diagram. All right, so let's pick a point to represent this point. The point to represent this point. So from that point, I will draw two lines out, one like this and the other one like this. So these two lines, they are 30 degrees to the horizontal line. To the horizontal line. It's advisable you draw the horizontal line first before you draw these two lines. Okay. So let's start with an horizontal line. Make it a small line. Okay, so this from this horizontal line, let's pick the points. We are picking from this line represents this point. So from this same point, I've told you we draw these two lines, and the two lines are 30 degrees. So we'll be using our 30 degree set square to draw the two lines out, one like this and the other one like this. Then we give it the measurement of 120. I will give it a measurement of 70 millimeters here. So let's do that. We can make it a construction line first, then to the right. Okay, then we could see that the left has a measurement of 70 millimeters, 120 millimeters. So let's measure that. So what that means is that from here to here is 70 millimeters, and let's measure out 120 millimeters there. This is 120 millimeters there. So okay. Now this is 120 millimeters, this is 70 millimeters. Okay. Now you will see that from here, actually, for us to be able to this line here doesn't has a particular angle, and likewise this line here does not have a particular angle. So this one too does not have a particular angle. But this is what we do. From this point, I will draw a construction line that will go like this. The line we is this same line. If you trace it downward, is from this point. But we are going to make this space here a construction line. We are going to make this part a construction line. Okay, and take from ear to ear to measure out from ear to ear. So likewise this, I'm going to draw a line like this. If you trace this line downward here, it's from this same point. We are going to make this space here a construction line, and the same thing also applicable to this. So let's draw out three lines, one like this, one like this, and one like this, from those three angles, like this, like this, and like this. Let's make it a construction line first. Let's make that line a construction line first. Okay, let's make this one to a construction line. And let's make this one a construction line. All right, then you will see that the distance from ear to ear is the same thing as distance from ear to ear, which is 15 millimeters. Also from ear to ear is also 15 millimeters. So what that means is that I will measure from ear to ear 15 millimeters. Then from that same point, I will need to measure the distance from ear to ear. Now, first of all, let's measure out the 15 millimeter from ear to ear, which will be the construction line. To be the construction line. So we can try to erase it little, to which will be the construction line. So let's measure out the 15 millimeters. So from here to here is that point of 15 millimeter. Take note of that point. So from here to here is 15 millimeter. Or we can see that point, this point, and then let's do for the third one. From here to here is also 15 millimeter. Okay. Now what happened is that from here to here is 15 millimeter. From here, we need to measure a line. We have to make it bold. A line, a measurement of what? Of a measurement of 35 millimeters. You can see the dimension here. So from this same point to from here, we need to measure in another line, giving it a measurement of what? A dimension of 35 millimeters. From here, you need to measure another line, which is from here. Measure another line upward. So we give it a dimension of what? 65 millimeters. Okay, so but the remain this 15 millimeters will be a construction line. I can still erase it little. Must be a construction line. Okay. All right. So for this one, let's give it the dimension first to be what? This from here to here and from here to here is 35, 35. So let's do that. So from here to here is 35. I hope you can see that. So we can make it bold. Then let's give the dimension of this to 35 millimeter. Now you can see that this 35 millimeters. Before I draw this one, before I give this one the dimension of 65 millimeter, let's do something here. You see that from here, a line connected both of them together. So let's do that first. So let's connect them together with a line. If I draw the third one, then you will see that from this same point, you need to go inward like this, and we need to go come inward like this. Okay, I will still do this one, but let's finish this one first. We go inward like this, we come inward like this. So what that means is that the distance from here to here is given to be, now for us to get that, we need to subtract 44 from 70 millimeters. The distance from here to here is 70 millimeters. Likewise from here to here, and likewise from here to here is also 70 millimeters. So for us to get the distance from here to here and from here to here, let's subtract 44 from 70 first. And when you subtract 44 from 70, we will be left with 26. We'll be left with 26. So that 26 is shared between this and this. So if you divide that 26 by 2, it will be what? 13. What that means is that from here to here is 13, and then from here to here is also what? 13. So from this same point, let's draw a line inward, and let's measure 13, 13 from that point. So using our set square, so from those two lines, let's try to measure 13 millimeters. This 13 millimeters. That point there is 13 millimeters. Okay. Then let's measure another 13 millimeters there. From this point, from this point to this point. So that is another 13 what? Millimeters. Then we could see that from that point, a line there's a line from here to here that joined with that point, and from here to here. So let's do that. And likewise this. So you can see that this is a construction line. You can just try to erase it little. Good. Erase it little. Good. All right. Then let's let's draw this line upward. So let's come back to this. Let's extend this line upward with what? With 65 millimeters. I've said from here to here, 65 millimeters. So let's do that. From here to here, 65 millimeters. You can make it bold. All right. Then I would have continued from here. From here, I would have continued, but this line, the angle is not given. We don't know the angle. So let's continue the drawing from here. Then we'll come to this part. So let's continue from here. So you see that from this point, which represents this point, because from here to here is 65. Okay. So okay. So from this same point, which is this point, you will see that there's a line that connects from this point, which represent this point. There's a line that connects this point and this point together. That is from this point to this point. There's a line that connected them together. So let's try to connect them together. Good. Then you will see that there's a line from here to here. So from here, let's measure 15. It's still the same dimension from here to here. So let's measure 15 here and then draw a line to connect to meet that point. So let's try to measure 15 millimeters there. So this is 15 millimeters at this point. That is 15 millimeters. Then let's draw a line to meet at that point. So we can then erase this line little because it is a construction line. Good. All right. Then we can proceed. You see that. So from this same point, you know, which is this point, two lines came out. Two lines came out. One to this direction and one to this direction. So I will draw two lines here that will have to come out from that same point. So let's do that. First of all, let me draw the one like this. And the other one like this. All right. The distance from here to here is 70 millimeters. Okay, from here to here is 70 millimeters. So let's measure out 70 millimeters. From here to this point is 70 millimeters. All right, so this is the point of 70 millimeters here. So from that point of 70 millimeters, which is from here to here, you see that there's another line that came inward like this. So let's draw a line inward like this. So from that line, the distance from here to here is 25 millimeters. And likewise, the distance from here to here is also 25 millimeters. So let's try to measure that and connect them together. Okay, so let's connect this. Let's also measure this part. So let's connect them together. You see that there's a line that connected both of them together. Okay, which represent this line. Then what we can see next is that from this line, a line came inward, and that line came inward like this. So the distance from, we measure a line inward like this. The distance from here to here is given to be the distance from here to here, which is what, 15 millimeters. You can see it here. So let's draw two lines downward from those 2 points. So let's measure out the 15 millimeters. Let's measure out the 15 millimeters here. So let's connect them together because there's a line that connected them together. So let's connect them together. All right. Then you will see that from these points now, you see that there's a line that went in this direction. So the distance from here to here is 10 millimeters. You can see that. So we draw a line like this in this direction, then we draw the line down in this direction. From here to here is 10 millimeters, and then from here to here, it will be is given to be what? Is given from here to here is given to be 15 millimeters. You can see the dimension here. It's given to be 15 millimeters. I'll go like this 10, come down by 15. So let's do that. Let's measure out the 10 millimeters first. Let's measure out the 10 millimeters. From here to here is 10 millimeters. Good. So from this same point, I will come down by 15 millimeters. So let's measure out the 15. Let's measure out the 15 millimeters. So this is the 15 millimeters. So what can we see next is that from this point now, which represent this point, two lines came out, one like this and the other one like this. So let's draw out the two lines. Let's draw the other line. It went in this direction. So from this point, before I measure this point, I want to finish this part first. I want to finish this part. Like I want to finish this part before I measure this line. So let me leave this line for now. So let me measure from ear to ear, which is 45 millimeters. I will measure 45 here, then from this same point, I will go up by 15 millimeters. So let's measure out 45 millimeters first. From here to here is 45 millimeters. So I will go up by 15 millimeters. So let's measure out the 15 millimeters. So that is the 15 millimeters. Okay. So this is the 15 millimeters from here to here. Then from this same point, I will come inward like I will go in this direction. I will go in this direction by what? By 10 millimeters, then go up again by what? The distance from here to here is same thing as distance from here to here, which is what? 15 millimeters. So I will come like this by 10, go up by 15. So let's measure out the 10 millimeters. So from here to here is 10 millimeters. Then from this same point, I'll go up by 15 millimeters. So let's measure out the 15 millimeters. So this is the 15 millimeters. Then which represent this point. So what we could see from this point is that two lines came out, one like this and the other one like this. So I will go from here to here, which is exactly the same thing as measurement from here to here, which is 70 millimeters. That is from here to here, 70 millimeters. So from here to here is what? 30 millimeters. You can see it here. So I'll go like this 70. From that same point, come here 30. From this same point, come here 30. 30 here, 70 here, 30 here. So let's do that. So let's measure out 30 millimeters from this point. And then from that same point, let's go up like this by 30 by 70 millimeters. So let's measure out the 70 millimeters from this point. Let's measure out 70 millimeters from here to here, 70 millimeters. I hope you can see that. Okay, we can make it bold because it is not a construction line. So from that point, I will come here by 30 millimeters. So let's measure out 30 millimeters. I've already measured out 30 millimeters there. From here to here, 30 millimeters. So let's measure out another 30 millimeters there. From here to this point, 30 millimeters. So you see that there's a line that connected both of them together. Okay. So let's connect them together. All right. What do you see next? From this same point, I can connect it to this point, and to this point, this point. So let's do that. All right. Then we can then proceed with this one. Let's measure the 17. Let's finish this one. From here to here is 70. So from that point, two lines will come out. The one up, one to the left, like this. So let's do that. Let's measure out 70 millimeters. From here to here is 70 millimeters. Okay. So from that same point, two lines will come out from that point. One upward. You see that? The other one to the left. The other one to the left. All right. I think we are done with the drawing. We are done. So what you just do is that just try to dimension it the way it is. To have a complete mark, you must give it proper dimension. And if you want to know how to dimension this work, check my description. You see a link there, a video link there. Click on it on how to dimension properly. Give it a like, give it a comment, and give it a share. Share with your friends. Thank you for watching. I have many other videos that you can check around in my channel.